let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
Stop sucking!
That's the signal!
Go, 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 go,
Drop
go!
it! Fence!
Stop! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Friday, everybody. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, thank you so much for tuning in. If you've downloaded the Rush Radio app on your Android device, it's very easy to operate, and we appreciate you tuning in there as well. If you're watching on YouTube, and man, we've had a show going since like 5 o'clock this morning in the chat. It's nice to see everybody participating and chatting along with one another. Give this channel a subscription, give the video a like. And, leave your comments. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. Today is going to be all about us. It's all about us today, Ross, just to let you know.
Okay.
And it's all about us because it is our 100th episode. We started this journey back on January 27th. And we've reached 100 episodes. Now, people go, well, you've been doing this longer than 100 days. It's not 100 days. It's 100 episodes because we do 5 episodes a week. And I just want to ask you, because to me, that's a major milestone. I mean, we hope we have thousands more, right? But when you look back at your first 100 shows of doing this, has it been harder than you thought it was going to be, easier than you thought it was going to be? What's been your thoughts through the first 100 episodes?
Yes and yes, Travis. It's been what part of it has been harder though? Outside of like the mental side of it, of figuring it out as quickly as we had to. I quite frankly, Travis, I want to say it's been easier than I thought it was going to be. I really do. We bought some equipment, the technical side of it, having Owen walk us through a bunch of the stuff. That was the hard part. But man, it's been fun. A lot of people have said to me, like, and I saw somebody on the chat a couple weeks ago, they were like, man, as far as I can tell, can't tell if the boys are doing better than they were at the radio station. I can't tell if they're making money yet. I don't know what's happening. We're doing great. It's been an incredible success, and that's all thanks to you guys. Because if we wouldn't have had you guys watching and listening and been able to show people, hey, we actually have people that want to watch us every morning, and they're going to find us on. They're going to change their habits to get off of what comes into them and find us. They're going to have to hit a button. They're going to have to hit us on. It's not just turn the car on and all of a sudden the guys are talking to you. You got to go seek it out. And man, to see the thousands of people that we get every day, the numbers that grow every month, that's been it's been awesome. We were weeks into it, and we had the conversation of, man, we should have done this a long time ago. It's been great. I feel like I'm off the leash. I don't have anybody to answer to. I mean, we've got some business partners, and we have some people that, Ken Payne, who's, he's got kids and a wife, and we have people we're responsible to that we love. It's been great. This has been wonderful, man. I can't thank you enough. I mean, we wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. I needed a partner.
Well, I mean, you and I, we like being together. This is what we like to do together. You mentioned the business partners, and we did this when we first started, but I think after 100 episodes, I think it's important to do it again. Choice Creative has been absolutely amazing. There are business partners in this. Jeff Klein, you mentioned Ken Payne, and the nice thing is it's like having some business direction, because I mean, I like to think I know a little bit about business. There's a lot that I don't know about business. So, and we both work full-time jobs outside of this, so it's not like we can devote 100% of our time to this, which is difficult. There are days I'd love to. There'd be days I'd be like, oh, I would just want to go all in, but I have other responsibilities. So Choice Creative and our advertisers who have stuck with us since day one, including Willis Automotive. I mean, Willis Automotive stepped up right away and wanted to be basically the presenting or title sponsor, and they've been great. Corey over at Bats and Bugs, Bruno and Full Court Press.
The Steve and Amy over at Big Sky. We don't want to miss anybody. Gary Presnall.
Gary Presnall.
The people that we've been able to talk to and say, hey, we want to do this thing. When we get that response of like, yeah, cool, let's go. Well, what do you need? Dude, you know who we're missing? You know who one of the first guys was to reach out to us? One of in fact, the first guy to say yes. Not because there were Willis was one of them. Willis reached out right away and said, Ross, whatever your next endeavor is, we want to be a part of it. It's like, awesome. Thank you. Central City Liquors.
Oh, yes.
Brian Duax was right there with Bruno and Willis. Brian Duax was the first one that I went in and I said, hey, man, I think that Travis and I are going to, and he's like, yeah, here you go. I'm on your team. That's that momentum. That's what got us to here, dude. It was great.
And we say this, we have advertisers for a reason, because we want to keep this show free, and it will never be a paid for show, right? I mean, we're not gonna say, hey, you got to become a subscriber, but do frequent our advertisers, because they advertise for a reason, because they want you to use their product or their services. So if you can do us a favor, go ahead and please be a patron of our advertisers. The hardest part for me, Ross, and I'm addicted to it, is that something we never got in old radio was instant feedback on people that watch or listen. A ratings book would come once a quarter, and you'd go, okay, you were basically whoever had a book and filled it out, and how accurate was that? We have numbers every single day. I can turn on a thing right now and see a pin, and I've showed it to Ross. I can show you a pin of where everybody who's listening on the audio app. I can see how many people are watching on YouTube, how many people are watching on X, and it becomes like this addiction. And so, one day you'll have a certain number, and if it goes down by like 100 the next day, I'm like, oh, what did we do wrong? And then you start to see the patterns through the week. What is your most listened to day? It's kind of addicting, but it can also play with your mind a little bit. You're like, oh, did we do something wrong today? No.
Yeah, I've had that happen. We normally have 250 listeners by X time.
Yes.
And I'll look up at the clock and I'll go like right now. Oh, where are those? Yeah, where are those other 41 people at?
Yeah, why don't you like us today?
What do we do? And then over a day, you realize that they showed up. Some other people tailed off. It's been amazing. The feedback thing's been great. I love our chat. I love our community that is built on the chat. Those guys are having their own, like when you say it's their own show, it's their own conversations, which is awesome. It feels like that coffee club that Abigail once said. Was it Abigail or Mary? I think it was Abigail that said,
yeah,
Dad, you're part of a coffee club. You guys get together and you just bullshit. And then there's other guys and you guys show up and you hang around and you guys have your own conversations while you're listening to us. We get to hear some of your conversations and go, oh, hey, Jay said this thing. Dude from Iowa fired off on...
Somebody asked on there, what's our most utilized platform? And you may be surprised to know this, but it's about 50-50. And we get the same amount of listeners on the audio stream on a daily basis as we do YouTube. The two primary ones, we throw it on Twitter and Facebook just to have it there. Their numbers are hard to analyze. The ones we can really analyze and dive into are the audio stream and YouTube, and that's about 50-50. But when you throw the podcast on there, which also gives us more data, the audio stream or audio replays are probably a little bit more. It's probably about 60-40 from video to audio. But the truth is we can reach a great number of people with a number of different platforms, which has been enjoyable. I think the most surprising thing to me, Ross, because when you do a new when you lose the brand name of a radio station and being over terrestrial radio, what has surprised me and I'm happy about are the number of interviews we've been able to land.
Yeah.
And the fact that, that somebody like Jamie Pollard, Ben McCullum, every single interview that we've had, they haven't looked at the show and go, well, you're just on the internet. We've been able to get people to come on the show. And I can say we've interviewed a lot of people since day one. I've enjoyed every single interview that we've done because we're able to go long form, not 10 minutes. They're half-hour interviews to where you can just dive in and have a really good conversation about it. And I would do an interview a day, right? I mean, I would be like, yeah, we got one coming up later because we have a sport that is, well, it's not a sport, but we're going to call it is verbal jousting is what we're going to talk about today. Verbal jousting is a good
I
way to
like
put
it. Yeah.
Yes. And this is right up Ross's alley because he was a debater in high school.
This was my favorite thing. It was my favorite thing I did in high school.
So Scott Wunn is going to join us around 7:30. He's the executive director and the national tournament director of the National Speech and Debate Tournament that starts in Des Moines on the 15th. And this is incredible. And I'd say a lot of Iowans and people in the central part of the country don't even know about this. You have representatives from 46 different states. You have 8 different countries and 7,000 students participating in this. There's going to be 12,000 spectators that are converging in Des Moines next week for the National Speech and Debate Tournament. And I'm like, that's pretty interesting. And we had Greg Edwards tell us about it. They're like, something that people may not even know about. That's one of the biggest events in central Iowa every year.
Because remember, Trav, we asked, what's one that has an economic impact that's off the radar? And he's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have 20,000 people come to town for a week. It's not a night. They don't come to town for Jason Aldean. It's not Shane Gillis, which is great. That brings a lot of money into the community when you've got a show like Shane Gillis. When they're there for a week, and I don't want to oversell it because I know that it comes across as like super nerdy. Man, it was so much fun. I had so much fun doing that in high school. It was, it taught me how to have conversations. It taught me how to listen, how to question yourself mid-conversation. You guys have all heard me do that. I'll be in the middle of something and go, oh, wait a minute, I might be wrong. And that's all. That's Mr. Miller from East High School Debate. It was Forensics was the name of the class. And then I was on the speech and debate team. I did Model UN and mock trial. I was the only guy on the Model UN team, which was weird until it wasn't. But I never didn't capitalize. Didn't know how.
What was Model UN? I'm trying. I mean, I went to a really small school. We had speech. I was part of the speech team, but we didn't have debate. We didn't have Model UN. We didn't have mock trial or anything like that. What was Model UN?
So Model United Nations. Every school became a country. If you wanted to be a part of the Model UN program, your school was assigned a country. I can't remember for the life of me which one we were. We were some Middle Eastern map dot, Kazakhstan or something like that. And then you go to a conference. Ours was at UNI, and you then basically are taught how the UN works as a delegate. You're going to go into these committees. You're going to talk about nuclear proliferation. You're going to, and the big boys get to set the tone. The bigger nations have more say. They'll be at the head of the room. It was really cool. It was fun. That was fun. Mock trial is every school in the country is given the same case, and you're even kind of given a script a little bit about like here's the hard facts of this case. Now go try it. One place is going to be prosecution, one's going to be defense. In debate, see, speech is kind of, you're given like a topic, and there's all sorts of different things that happen in speech where you can, it's different skill sets that are required. In debate, the entire country, again, is given one topic, but it's and when we talk to the guy, we'll find out exactly. When we talk to Scott, he'll be able to tell us exactly what it is. But every team then has to be able to debate both sides of it. You don't get to say, hey, I want to argue for this thing or against this thing. And then in a debate tournament, it's a coin flip. It's literally a coin flip of and you've got your files there with you. Here's my arguments for it. Here's my arguments against it. It's really fascinating. And so that's the mindset that these kids go into. They feel like they can argue and win both sides of an issue. That's how you come up with an annoying smartass like me.
How much time do you get to prepare for the?
It's been all year.
Issue? Okay.
It's been one topic all year long. And I shouldn't speak with authority like this. Maybe this has changed a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's how this still goes down. One topic, be interested to see what it is. I mean, it can be something like immigration. It can be a really big issue. Normally it's something that's not so political, I think.
Which is probably better, right? You don't want it to be divisive, because when you're given a topic, your job is to argue for or against. So you could be arguing for it and not agree with anything that you say. Which would be
it's true. And arguing against something that you truly believe in your heart.
Yeah.
And you got to do it with passion and conviction.
But I think it helps you look at both sides of the situation, right?
That again, Mr. Miller's one of his great things was understand your opponent's argument better than they do. And if you hate their argument, it's really hard to do that. So you have to be able to put yourself. It's good.
Boy, you really fell into. And I'm not going to say fall into, but I'm using that as an expression, when you got teamed up with Jan Michelson. I mean, for how much you love this and you're passionate about it, the fact that you got paired up with Jan in your early days of radio, that had to be a dream come true for you.
It truly was, Travis. Dude, I've had a Norman Rockwell life at times. I'm not kidding. I look at it, I go, what? How in the hell did my brother, my sister, my mom, my dad, it's like Disney wrote these characters into my life. They're amazing. They're amazing people. I grew up listening to Jan. He became a guy I idolized on the radio. Got lucky enough to walk into that radio station one day and meet him. I remember thinking one day when I got that job, driving to the radio station, thinking to myself, I might become friends with Jan Michelson someday. I remember that thought. And then I spoke at the guy's funeral. God is great, man. It's unbelievable what this life does. This, dude, this whole journey to get to this 100 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And again, everybody who's listening, it's because of you. Thank you so much. We look forward to the next 100 and the next 100 after that. People are asking, is there going to be some get-togethers at the State Fair? Well, we need to get together with Brooks and plan that, but I don't know if it's going to be the morning show itself. We'll do the morning show every single day. The great thing about owning the platforms and being able to go live anytime, we're going to do our 6 to 8 show every single day, but we could do an afternoon show at the fair. We can do a lot of different things just outside of what we do normally. So, and of course, a lot of people have asked about, I'm going to use the term because people know it, sound off, and whether you and I are going to do. Obviously, we're not going to do sound off anymore. We have to change the name because that's not our show. But there will be a post Iowa football game show, just to let everybody know.
I mean, we just used the Rush. Can we just call it Sound?
Yeah, just join us for Sound on. Sound on. Oh, that's funny. So the plan is to do that. The plan is to be at the fair. And
I'll tell you our other fair place, dude, is Brooksy. We're going to be with Brooksy. Joni Bell, the new place that she has built there at the fairgrounds, dude, it's incredible. It's a great addition to the fair. They definitely made the right choice in giving that property to Joni, because she built it's called the Blue Ribbon. I can't remember. Blue Ribbon something. It's super cool looking.
And it hasn't happened yet. But another thing we have the capability of doing, when something big breaks, we can go live whenever we want. So if something in the sports world, or hell, even locally happens, we can jump on and go live at any time. So that's the nice thing about owning all this and being partners with people. And again, with you guys going along with us on the journey, that makes it so much more fun, because we do it. I told you 15 years ago when we got together, I go, my goal is to build a community, and making this leap of faith on January 27th like we did would not have been possible without the community. And people said, well, what do you mean by that? And I said, there's a lot of people who probably can do this, but they don't have the people to bring along with them. I said, you and I had a big enough brand to where we could go, okay, let's do this ourselves and see what we can do. And so far, so good. And I have, and you know how nervous I was. You had been fired, and I'm sitting there going, well,
Thanks for the reminder. Thanks for the reminder.
Well, I don't mean to run.
My mom died too. You want to talk about that too? Huh?
So did mine. But when you have something that's like guaranteed, you're like, God, do I walk away from this? And the more we sat there and put the numbers together and got partners, we were like, yep, let's go ahead and do this. And I don't regret a minute of it. Don't regret it at all. So again, 100th episode. Good to have everybody along. Maybe we had the luck of Patrick Reed. Patrick Reed was at Oakmont yesterday. And I've never, Ross, stepped up to a 622-yard par 5. 622-yard par 5.
Did he get a hole in one?
No, he did not get a hole in one. Though it would be. So think about this. His tee shot on the 622-yard par 5 put him 286 yards from the hole. So
350-yard drive.
350-yard drive, steps up into the fairway on his second shot with a fairway wood, right? And he hits a blind shot, drops it 30 yards from the pin, and it starts rolling on those, greens that are at a stimp meter at 14. He can't see what's going on. The cameras just follow that ball. It gets in the perfect line, and he drops a double eagle at Oakmont. He went from +1 to -2 just like that. He didn't finish the day at -2. He finished the day at +3.
Yep.
But you're like, okay, it's a double eagle. What does that mean? Double eagle is rare, folks. It is really, really, really rare. And I think since 1983, just the 4th double eagle at the U.S. Open. It doesn't happen that often.
Travis, it's extremely rare. When you think, albatross, Mike's saying I think it's the only shot in golf that has 2 names. So this is the article that I found said there are 30,000 hole-in-ones made a year. There are a few hundred double eagles, from 30,000 to a few hundred. That's how rare they are.
Wonder why that is.
There's just so few opportunities. Every golf course, every golfer has at least 2 opportunities at a hole-in-one every 18 holes. A true shot at a double eagle is very rare. Most courses, there's no shot at a double eagle. You don't have any drivable par 4s, and the par 5s. I mean, again, this is a miracle. This is lucky.
This is luck.
This is getting it going in the right direction. Right? Who was our golfer that we talked to that oh my gosh, Kirk Triplett, who's had 11 hole-in-ones in competition. And you just got to get it going in the right direction. And that's what Reed did. Is he and I guess I didn't realize this because somebody put in the chat, he's the most unlikable guy in golf. Is he the new most unlikable guy in golf?
Well, I think he's been there, but he has not. He hasn't been up in the standings in a lot of tournaments. So I would say he's unlikable by a lot of people. Bryson was there for a little bit. Bryson DeChambeau has totally changed his personality thanks to social media, and people are like on the Bryson train now.
I'm part of that. I was on the hate Bryson. He's a douche. Analyzing the makeup of the flag stick. Well, if it's composite or if it's what, I'm going to pull it. Put the ball. And even like, who was it that had the big eye roll? Was it Day? Remember the one guy who was getting interviewed at Jason Day, and DeChambeau starts walking by and he's like, "Oh God." I think you're right, but now I'm a Bryson fan. He seems less douchey. He seems. Oh, I'm a fan. So
I think it happened when he went to Live because he didn't have these constraints. He was able to market himself, be himself, which has helped him out. But yeah, Patrick Reed with the whatever the name Albatross came from.
Because an albatross also has a double meaning. It means something negative. An albatross is a heavy weight that you wear around your neck. Before I get out over my skis here,
I thought it was like a sea animal.
Maybe it's got multiple. Oh my gosh, Travis. It has several meanings. Yeah, you're right. It's a large seabird renowned for its immense wingspan.
Yeah, I first learned about albatross in a Little River Band song.
I only know one Little River Band song.
You only know one Little River Band song?
Well, they have Amy. They have Amy also.
No, Amy is not Little River Band.
Oh, no. I'm thinking of Pure Prairie League.
Yes, you're thinking of Pure Prairie League.
Who I know.
Amy, what you want to do.
Yeah, and Falling In and Out of Love with You, which is a different song. But anyway, the...
Cool Change
is
probably...
I know. Now I know what you're talking about. Lonesome Loser. Thank you, Tony.
Lonesome Loser, Cool Change. There's a lot of good Little River Band songs. More than a one-hit wonder. They have a greatest hits album. So, all right, albatross has several meanings. Okay. Has double eagle in golf. Large seafaring bird, known for its immense wingspan. And there's a metaphor. The word albatross is sometimes used metaphorically to mean a physiological burden, most often associated with guilt or shame that feels like a curse. Well, that's my life.
Albatross, Patrick Reed. And then somebody wrote Patrick Reed's a known cheater. I'm unaware. He did have a good line. If you like Patrick Reed, don't like Patrick Reed, he did have a good line about it. Because again, he gave up all those strokes. He ended up 3 over 73. Reporter asked him afterwards about the albatross, and he said, there are 71 other holes that I'm going to have to play. One hole doesn't mean jack, if I'm going to be honest with you. That's good. That's a good attitude on it.
And he's not wrong. J.J. Spahn is your first-round leader at Oakmont. He was at -4 for the day. He did not have a bogey yesterday. But they've all warned, they're like, hey, yesterday was going to be the easiest day at Oakmont. They're like, just prepare yourself. It's going to get tougher as the weekend goes along. So, I wouldn't be surprised if the leader after today is at like -2 or even par, just based on what they want to do the course. And isn't it funny, within a 24-hour period, really less than that, after they get off the course, what they can do to change it up to make it more difficult? The course, the way it played yesterday, will not play the way it will today or tomorrow or on Sunday.
So, Travis, do you know, or maybe we could reach out, I bet we could reach out to a superintendent somewhere in Des Moines to tell us this. Maybe what are the physical things that they do besides pin placement? I mean, that seems like the easiest one to make a hole harder is pin placement on the green. What other things do they do from a Thursday to a Sunday to make the course more difficult?
Probably all on the green, right? How you mow, because they're out mowing those greens. They can make
Rolling
them
them.
faster, rolling them. They know exactly what they're doing. It'll be the greens more than anything else.
Okay.
But also weather will play a part into it as well. But, yes, so Brooks Koepka, probably the biggest name on close to the top of the leaderboard. He was at -2 yesterday. But J.J. Spawn, your first-round leader, at -4. Again, bogey-free. I think that was the most impressive part, is that he was bogey-free after the first round. It is the Rush Radio Show. We're going to take a quick break, come back, continue the conversation. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vents, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
So, you're driving along the road and minding your own business when a thought pops into your head.
When's the last time I had my alignment checked?
You know it's important. Poor alignment can impact your tire wear, your grip on the road, and even your gas mileage. But just as your mind starts to ache and the sweat starts to pool around your lower back, you remember, I serviced my car at Willis Cadillac in Clive, Iowa, and they check the alignment for free with the purchase of any service. And the serenity of that thought frees you once again. Give us a call or head online to williscadillac.com to schedule your appointment today.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
For a bumper crop of boomers at dirt cheap prices, get to the Iowa Fireworks Farm for your 4th of July celebration, ladies and gentlemen, because the 4th of July is coming up. You want to blow off those fireworks. You want to light up the sky. And the best place to do that, to get your boomers, is the Iowa Fireworks Farm.
Do you love America? Do you want to show your neighbors that you love America more than they do? Get to the Iowa Fireworks Farm. It's about 25 minutes just south of the metro, right down I-35. Get down there to their 6,000 square foot factory, which, Travis, not only full of a bunch of amazing products, you can preview a ton of those products before you actually buy them, and then go light them on fire and show everybody how much you love America.
Boom, just boom, boom, boom. So go, and we want to help you out. We want to help you pay for some of those. So we're giving away a weekly $50 gift certificate from the Iowa Fireworks Farm, and it's very simple. You go to therushradio.com. That's therushradio.com. Click on the promotions tab, and right there's going to be a quick form to fill out. We need your name, we need your email address, we need your telephone number. And then each week up until the 4th of July, we're going to give away a $50 gift certificate. And then, you know what, for the grand finale, we're going to give away a mega pack called The Godfather. And you are going to be you're going to be the one who's the envy of the neighborhood, because The Godfather is going to light up the sky, and you are going to just have a blast. So go to iowafireworksfarm.com. To learn more, go check out their showroom where you can watch displays of what you're going to buy, and you'll be set to go. So Iowa Fireworks Farm for all your fireworks needs.
I was getting all excited about going down to the Iowa Fireworks Farm, loading up, because I'm going to be up in Canada that second week of July. We're going to be landing.
You're going to be a total American up in Canada.
Oh, that was my plan. But I remembered when I said that last time, somebody wrote on the chat and said, "Do not take fireworks across the border." I was like, what? No, I just Googled it. You're right. Can't bring fireworks across the border unless you have a permit, and I ain't getting a permit.
Wow. Canadians are no fun, are they? Why do Canadians got to be so boring?
They hate freedom.
You know, this wouldn't be a problem if they were the 51st state. It wouldn't be a problem at all.
Speaking of politics,
poke the bear.
Speaking of politics, I did find out what the 2025 high school debate topic is. Okay. Should the U.S. government increase Arctic exploration and/or development?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I just I'm like, there's nothing up there. What do we care about?
Well,
drill,
the argument,
drill, baby, drill.
So now you're for it. Oh, okay. So that's a fun one, but they get into some political stuff. So there we go.
Wow. Explore. No, I think we should do the Antarctic. That's what we should do. Explore the Antarctic, Mark.
Yeah, let's find out that hollow. Let's find the hole in the middle where Admiral Byrd found the Nazi UFOs. Was it Operation High Jump? Was that what that was called?
That's where UFOs were?
I think Operation High Jump. Yeah. We sent the dude down to the Antarctic. Come on, man. You got to get up on your conspiracy theories here, will you? And the dude flew over the Antarctic and reported back that he found that he was confronted UFOs with Nazi symbols on them. This was during World War II. And that the middle of the Antarctic is actually a giant hole that leads to a hollow Earth. Come on, man.
I can believe the UFO part.
I can believe some of this.
Yeah, I can believe the UFO part. What I can't believe is the hollow Earth.
The only two parts of that story that are actually true are the guy's name and the fact that there were Nazis. That was it.
Maybe you can help me out here, because you've been around troublemakers a lot more than I have. Maybe it's because you grew up on the East Side. I don't know. All
right.
And I don't. I'm being a little facetious here, but
I like it.
What I don't understand are people who continually get in trouble and can't figure it out, especially when they have a lot of money. Antonio Brown is one of those guys. Antonio Brown is now a wanted man on attempted murder charges. He was at a celebrity boxing event in Miami a couple months ago, put on by an online influencer, and a fight broke out. Can you believe it? A fight broke out at a fight. There's a big shock. But Antonio Brown was questioned afterwards. He was released, but after interviewing with people and security footage, they've determined that, allegedly he was the one that brandished the gun, fired the shots. There were 2 shell casings found there. But Ross, you're talking about a guy that was on his way to being a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
I really think you could say that Antonio Brown was on his way to being a Hall of Famer, and then he just can't stay out of trouble. And what I look at it and go, how hard is it to change your life? You have money, you have fame. I know there's problem that goes along with that. I'm not saying there's not problems with money and fame. But man, you continually get in trouble. Why do people do that? Is it a learned behavior? Is it in your DNA? Is it just you think you're on top of the world so you can get away with it?
I'll take 1 and 3. I'm not maybe slightly in your DNA. I think it's learned behavior. I think this is this starts as a slow pattern of, that. Let's start from the beginning. This is mental illness. What Antonio Brown is dealing with here, this is mental illness being displayed for all of us. We have these conversations, we have these cliches like, oh, there's a stigma around mental illness. We can't have conversations about mental illness. This is it. This is it right here on full display, Antonio, and it has been for about 5 years. It's been on full display that this is a guy dealing with a mental break. To me, it's kind of like Kanye West. This is a person that's detached from reality right now. And there should be grace. As human beings, we should be able to look at this and go, oh man, but instead we look at it as entertainment. Antonio Brown puts out tweets to Mark Cuban about how, hey, I'm having sex with your wife, and everybody's liking it and sharing. Look at this, look at Antonio Brown. This is a dude that's sick. You can't, and here's the other. You can't call crazy. Nobody's able to go to Antonio Brown right now and go, hey man, nobody can look him in the eye right now and go, hey man, you're crazy. That doesn't work. Because crazy goes, no, man, you're crazy. So I don't even know what the right thing. This is a sad situation. In my mind, this is sad. I feel bad for the guy that used to be Antonio Brown. He's gone. And there's this new version of this guy that is an absolute freaking chaos in everything he does. Remember the dude was jerking off in that hotel pool?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about
Travis,
that.
Dude, there's so many things that are it's glaringly obvious. What are we dealing with here? An insane person. An insane person who's capable of doing crazy stuff. What do we do in society with people like that? We should get him help, is what we should do. But instead, he's enabled. He's still propped up as a superstar. He's brought out to celebrity events that are toxic events, that are high energy, high testosterone, and he's carrying a gun. He shot somebody? Yeah, 1 + 1 = 2, man. This is mental illness on display for all of us to see. And Travis, do you remember a couple years ago when that lady got up in front of the council, and it became like a running joke on social media. People were posting this thing. This lady was very obviously having a mental break, and she didn't. And it happened to be on display at a public meeting at a city council meeting. And instead of her getting help, we made her a punchline. And that's an Antonio Brown. This is entertainment.
And I'm glad you used that phrase, it's entertainment. And let's go back to the OJ trial. Probably when the Bronco chase, all that stuff became entertainment. It was news for CNN, but it was also entertainment because people were glued to it. I mean, think about the high-speed chases that they would always break into news for and watch high-speed chases. And I haven't followed this. I know you have a lot more than I have. And you mentioned 2 words, they both begin with E, entertainment and enabling. And I'm just going to bring him into this. Diddy was probably enabled from a and then got away with something, kept getting away with it, and then you become enabled, and then you become entitled.
That's
and
it.
Now And now I'm not following this trial with Diddy because it would be too taxing on my brain, and I would waste too many brain cells. But I would be a fool not to say that I don't see parts of it when I cover the news. But there's some mental illness there, and people are entertained by this both in a sick way, but he was enabled to, because at some point people did not say, "Hey, dude, what you're allegedly doing, you can't do."
Nobody can. Nobody feels like they can say anything to power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. When there's no check, there's no balance, that person is going to go off the rails. It's human history. It's been happening for thousands of years. Diddy's the latest example.
So Antonio Brown is now wanted. He's wanted. If he reports, he has to pay a $10,000 bond, and then he has to be under house arrest until his trial. It's just crazy to me that this guy's still in the news.
Mark my words. He breaks that house arrest.
And that's I think really you want to put him under house arrest. A guy who's
rules don't apply.
Rules don't apply to him, so he's not going to follow. We're going to put an ankle bracelet on him, say he's not going to leave.
He's crazy. He's crazy. There's no rationale. There's no. He has been for a while, man. It's been sad. Ripping off his jersey and storming out of off the Bucks.
He never played for the Raiders. He went to the cryo chamber and got his feet frozen, so he never did get to play for the Raiders.
Allegedly.
That's a good point.
It's sad. Hall of Famer.
And you bring up the word sad. It is sad because we do find this, in a sick way, entertaining. And, I mean, look at us talking about this morning. I mean, we're talking about it because it's the decline. It'd be best if we were never talking about Antonio Brown. You're like, oh, he was a really good football player one time.
Yeah.
Now we just go, oh, you're crazy, and you can't get any help. Man.
That's a good the comparison back to Diddy, actually, Travis. There's completely different levels to it. But I think that's a fair one of like, who checks it? Who looks at Antonio Brown and says, hey, man, you're going too far. He's the dude. He's the Hall of Famer. And again, this is why I think it's probably CTE, because I don't think Antonio Brown was always like this. So, Travis, that goes back to when you gave those three options, 1 and 3. It's a learned behavior. It's a conditioned behavior. Learned, conditioned. It started with you're the man. You're the best. You're the best. Can't do anything wrong.
Is Ja Morant the next one that's going to be like this?
Oh, great point. Yeah, probably without. So again, different levels. In my mind, not a doctor, Antonio Brown's is a CTE thing. Ja Morant's is a little bit more of your number 2 option. It's in his DNA. Ja Morant is just a I don't know what the right word is, goofball. A very similar thing to Antonio Brown. Rules don't apply to him. Ja, don't wave your gun around on social media. Oh, okay.
It's not illegal. Yeah, the league doesn't like it.
Ja, don't wave your gun out the window at children. Okay. I mean, that's I don't know what you call that, but I think it's a similar thing of like entitlement, feeling like I'm bigger than your rules or your thoughts. I'm Ja freaking Morant. I'm the next Michael Jordan. You don't get to tell me what to do. Don't wave your guns around at people, dude. That's good. The Ja Morant poll is a good one, Trav. I think that's the Antonio Brown slide.
And the thing is, there's probably, I don't want to say hundreds more of athletes, but you could probably go every sport where they just haven't been caught yet. There's probably hundreds more entertainers who are doing weird things that because you're enabled and you're entitled that you're getting away with this stuff. Now, did you just have anybody normal in your life? I'm going to be honest. I've never, maybe it's just the company I keep, I've never been around people who had that trigger that was like, oh, I'm entitled, I can do whatever I want, not scared of getting in trouble. I always kind of put myself around people that, were a little guarded, had a filter. I mean, you've told me some crazy stories, and I'm not going to have you mention names, but did you have people who just didn't have that filter of, it doesn't matter, I can get away with this?
Yeah, in a lot of different ways, man. Yeah. It can be fun for a minute.
And that's the thing is there's a little bit of a dopamine rush when you do that. And if you get away with it, you're like, oh, I got away with it once, I can get away with it again.
I think that's a part of it. And again, man, it's that impulse control thing is that it's those three things that you said, Travis. It can be a learned behavior. It can be part of your DNA.
And you're right to say that it's mental illness, and the fact that when people hear mental illness, I think they think depression, they think a lot of things. But
it's a broad term, isn't it?
It is a very, very broad term. Very broad term. Because I always get mad. I don't get mad. I get frustrated when people use the word earlier, stigma around mental illness. I don't think there is a stigma around mental illness. I think there are more than enough people that want to talk about it. The stigma is internal because deep down that something's wrong, and
Travis,
the stigma is with you. It's not with people. People will be there to support you. I mean, just look at I'm watching the chat right now. I mean, people are more than willing to have your back and listen. I've been hospitalized. And I've talked about this before, but I've been hospitalized. I have no problem talking about it. The hardest part about mental illness is facing it yourself and admitting that you have it.
Yeah.
But once you do that, man, that's why I go to therapy every single day. And I do it for 2 hours from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the morning. This is my therapy. And I know people think I share way too much. And I'm not trying to make this Antonio Brown story about me, but I'm like, people go, man, how can you say that stuff? I say it in front of my wife. You've been around me off the air. I say this. Am I any different with my wife off the air than I am on the air? I'm not.
Or your kids or friends, nothing. No,
nothing.
Exact same.
And I just feel like if I'm an open book, that makes things a lot easier with coping. You're not hiding anything. You're just brutally honest. And I joked yesterday, and you did too. It was my 32nd wedding anniversary, and boy, there was a lot of learning in there. It took me a while to get to that part, but I would say, if you're struggling, talk to somebody, man, and don't feel that there's a stigma by any means. But wow, crazy story. Don't bring a gun to a boxing match. If somebody pisses you off, you don't have to shoot. I mean, he's just lucky. He's just lucky he didn't actually hit somebody. Or do you think he wants to? And what I mean is like,
I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, I think that, Travis, this is the other thing. Part of your first thing you were talking about was, and everybody does this. We run it through our own channels. We go, man, how come this guy doesn't make these decisions? If I were Antonio Brown, I would make these decisions. I would not go to these events. I would put the phone down. I would be getting mental health help. Why isn't he doing that? Because he's not with it.
He doesn't think he has a problem.
He's not thinking clearly at all. There's no way you can sit there in your rational brain and figure out his isn't rational right now. So that's inability for anybody to come up and tell him, hey, you're doing wrong. even if somebody now has that ability, because he's not Antonio Brown anymore. Now he's Antonio Brown. So now people that love him have the ability to come up to him and say, hey, we're worried about you. Too late. Too late. That ship has sailed. We want you to pull it back. There is no pull back. I'm a rocket ship on go.
You just don't understand me.
You don't understand me. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Don't call me crazy. You don't get to do that. I'm telling you, man, you can't call crazy crazy. Rodney said AB is Aaron Hernandez level crazy. That's a great, I mean, he's shooting guns. He's doing really, really weird stuff that shows that he's not of society anymore.
And what did Aaron Hernandez have in common with this? Is that people enabled him, because what could he do? He could score touchdowns. He could make big plays. He could help you make money. And so, well, we'll turn an eye and not pay attention. As long as he's continuing to do his job, he's not my problem.
Yeah.
And hell, and he never was a Division I athlete, but I had people in high school that, the great athlete, everybody knew what kind of person he was. Everybody knew what was going on the side, but because he was doing really good things on the basketball court, on the baseball field, they just said, well, that's Scott. We'll ignore it. And then he got in a car wreck, killed a dude, and life was never the same. Life is never the same. So, never thought we'd go that far down the.
No, neither did I. Yeah,
but,
right.
But I think it's a good conversation, and people deal with this stuff every single day. It's just there's so many different levels to it. Of course, coming up in hour number 2, Scott Wunn is going to be joining us. He's the executive director of and national tournament director of the Speech and Debate tournament that's going to be going on in Des Moines next week. It runs the 15th through the 20th. 7,000 competitors, 46 different states represented, 8 different countries. That means a lot of hotel rooms are going to be filled up, and a different type of sport. Verbal jousting is what I'm going to call it. Verbal jousting. It's competitive, and I guarantee, you know what? These kids that are participating in this will be just as competitive as a kid on Friday night and a football game, just as competitive as anybody on a basketball floor. I mean, because I think people look at academics or something like this, go, well, you're not a competitor. Oh, they're competitive.
Oh, yeah, you have no idea. It's the same thing. Travis, great analogy. It's the same thing. It's just what your priority is and the thing that you want to be good at. Everybody wants to win. Everybody.
Did you get a letter? Did you get a Scarlet E for being on the Model UN?
No.
Debate team? You should have.
The only letter I ever got, Travis, was I got an honorary letter for helping out at East for the years after school, which I did. I do really take great pride in that. That is, to me, I know, it's neat. It's a neat thing that they recognize that I stuck around and helped out for a little bit. So that was cool. That's my only letter I got. Eli has more letters after 3 months of high school than I did.
Well, he's a better athlete.
Yes. Better looking.
Taller.
Keep going.
But that means you've done well as a parent. You've raised a kid that's
hoping so.
That's better than you.
Getting there. It
is.
Hey, I do want to get into the youth sports thing with you though. Okay.
Okay. We'll save
because
that. We'll do that
I will. I'll do that. We'll do that next. Okay.
It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
Hi, I'm Josh Romick, Service Manager at Willis Lexus, and I wanted to share our Lexus Summer Signature event. Now through July 6th, you can get $100 off a set of 4 tires, $65 off genuine Lexus battery, $25 off a set of brake pads, and $10 off Lexus genuine wiper blades. The school year is coming to an end, which means summer is right around the corner, and so are the deals at Willis Lexus. Visit us online at Lexus.com or give us a call to schedule your appointment. Thank you and have a great summer.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Android The Rush with Travis and Ross app, thank you so much. If you're watching on YouTube this morning, hit the subscribe to this channel. Like the video, start leaving your comments in the comment section. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings. Follow us on Facebook, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. I'm Travis Justice. He's Ross Peterson. Good to have you here on a Friday, our 100th episode. And you mentioned the youth sports. What happened in youth sports again? This is becoming a major topic almost weekly, it seems like.
Oh, dude, and I'm telling you, we could have youth sports conversations every day and light up the phone lines if we wanted to. But no, this is just an interesting one that I can't get to the bottom of, and maybe somebody out there knows some information better than I do. Most places that you go, Travis, they'll offer you a cash discount, right? I shouldn't say most. There are places that offer cash discounts, like Tasty Tacos.
Central City Liquors.
Go with cash. You're going to get a discount because then we don't have to pay the credit card processing fees, right?
Which is they're enormous, and because they're trying to push us to a cashless society. Now, as a former coffee shop business owner, I always looked at credit card fees as the price of doing business, but I'd look at that bill every year and go, or each month and go, man, those fees are
to add up.
Huge, yes.
So I'm not picking on any school because it's not the schools that are doing this. I don't know whose decision this is, but every place I've gone, I've asked, because you know me. Every high school event that you go to walk into, Travis, you have to pay money as an entrance fee, okay? And they've got a little sign there with a QR code so you can purchase a ticket online. Or you can give them cash. $7 cash to get in. Or $6 if you buy the ticket online. It's $1 cheaper to go to this website, put in your credit card information, and purchase a ticket online or use Apple Pay, or it's $1 cheaper to not give the school cash. And I can't figure out why, and nobody I ask knows why. Everybody that's, it's just some parent volunteering at the gate, right? Or a coach or something who they're not the one who made the decision. And here comes some asshole that's like, how come it's $1 more?
It's a real question, though. It's a legitimate
but everybody just says the same thing. They're like, I think it has something to do with this organization that we purchase our tickets through. And that my gut tells me that there's some sort of contract that says that they have to have it cheaper. That basically encourages people to go onto their website, put their credit card information onto this website. I'm wondering how much the school district has spent to partner with this organization that's now taking a percentage of that money, if not all the money, for the gate. I wonder how that. I just am curious about that relationship and how it ends up down at this funnel that's completely backwards.
Now, I'm curious.
Cheaper to do it on credit card than to just give them the cash.
I'm curious. Did you pay by credit card or did you pay by cash?
I've done both. It's dependent. You know what I mean? There have been times when I've had the cash with me and I pay the cash, but I usually want to save the dollar. And so I just do the QR code thing and double click my phone and I'm in.
Was it a $6 transaction or was it a $6.33 transaction?
Look at you.
Because I want to know if you were charged the fees. Because I know, like Greta's high school, when you paid by credit card, you were also assessed the fees so the school wouldn't be assessed the fees. Cash is always king. Ask any bar owner.
It should be. Nope, Travis, it was exactly that. In fact, I was off $1. I was off $1. So it was $7 exactly. So it was $7 for the card, $8 for cash.
Wow. Trying to figure that one out. Maybe it is the data that's worth more money to them. And what I mean by that, anytime you enter your name, your email address, and your credit card number, you are giving said company data. And data is like a currency. How many times have you read the fine print when you say, hey, click here for acknowledging legal disclaimer? Somewhere in there it says, hey, we could probably sell your name to anybody we want to sell your name to. And you're like, where do I get these emails from? How come I'm getting all these emails? And we haven't sent out any emails yet or any newsletters or anything like that. But I'm not going to lie to everybody and say, hey, when we have you put your name and email into the promotions tab, we want that data because if we do a mass emailing later on, we may be sending you an email. I'm just being fully transparent with people. I mean, we want people to sign up. But did you remember going to an old trade show when you'd go there and you'd fill out, hey, win this brand new fishing rod? Just write down your name, or window companies are the most notorious for it. You want to register to win free new windows in your house? Just sign up. They give you a new window. They don't care about the window. They care about the other 20 windows you're going to have to purchase to put in your house. But they have your name in a database, and therefore they'll keep following up year after year. Hey, are you still interested in windows? And data has been king for a long time. It's just the way we use that data now with the power of the internet.
So that's that. Going to a high school event now. Give your data. And listen, there is something. My buddy Ryan has pointed this out, and Ryan is one of the guys that helps at Willis Automotive. He says, running a business is different than running a school. We talk a lot about the skill sets of people. Running a business is we all know this. It takes a special mindset to run a successful business. Maybe that's what this is. It's just the school saying, we're out of our league. We're out of our league. Hand this stuff over, do concessions, do our admissions, do our ticketing, give us a chunk of it and make it easy for us. Maybe that's what this is.
And that makes a lot of sense, right? Because you mentioned it's parent volunteers who would much rather be watching the game, than they would be sitting, you know, at a table going, it's $8 to get in. And they have to deal with people. $8 to watch a high school game? It's high school freshman baseball. What am I watching that for?
The number of people and I'd be honest, Travis, I don't hear that a lot. You know what I mean? I don't, because you're in line and it's not a huge stadium, so I don't think I've heard one person come up and like bitch about it. It is what it is. You pay the money, you go in.
Where you do hear about it are the U-Trip or the AAU games where you're going for a weekend and it's like $15 a day to get in. And then people are like, okay, every single day?
But Travis, you can save money. Buy a weekend pass for $25. You can purchase it at the desk at the hotel that we made you stay at for $190 a night. And by the way, we charged you to come play in the tournament.
Thanks for your money.
My buddy Ryan puts this on Twitter all the time. It's like his most popular tweet. He just repeats it over and over and over. He'll retweet some story about youth sports run amok. And his line is, youth sports is about one thing, and it's not the kids.
It's about money. It's all about money. I mean, select soccer coaches are making like $100,000 a year. We got to have the best coach. Got to have the best coach. Got to have the best uniforms.
Year round. We got to do whatever our sport is. Doesn't matter how small the season is. It's a year-round commitment. Do you want to be good? Do you want to be great at this high school sport? Because if you want to be great at this high school sport, you need to commit to it because other people are committing to it.
And we need an answer right now.
If you're not getting better today, some kid across town is. Here's the line. Some suburban kid is. If you're not out there getting better, some suburban kid's out there working harder than you.
Going to pass you up. He's going to get that Division I scholarship.
Yeah. What about my summer?
As I sit here in solitude going, God, I'm glad I don't have those problems.
I'm taking Eli up to Canada, right? And again, one of those things, I can't imagine in 7-10 years when he's a grown man, him looking back and going, man, Dad, remember that workout I did that one day to get better at baseball? That was fun.
So you're taking.
But I hope he does look at me and go, oh, Dad, when we were fishing in Canada, we watched the sunset on the boat. That was freaking sweet.
Will he miss any games going to Canada?
His last, I didn't realize this until his last game. And now, in fact, they've rescheduled one, so I think now it might even be 2.
Ooh.
Yeah. But again, man, dude, I'm doing the math. We talked about this. I've got days left with this kid. Days. He's going to be a sophomore in high school next year. It means I have 2 summers left to make memories and have a kid in my house. And I'm going to maximize that. Sorry, coach, summer doesn't belong to you. But every coach says, okay, well then your kid's going to be. I mean, it's not a punishment. It's not like, well, if you don't show up, he doesn't get to play. No, the truth is, some kid's going to show up. Some kid's going to get better. He's going to learn the system better, and he's going to improve and leave your son in the lurch. So do you want to leave your kids behind? It's hard. It's hard. And now, Travis, that starts at like 9. The wrestling state championships happen. And you're walking off the mat. And it's like, all right, Greco and freestyle practice starts tomorrow. Huh? I've told you this. Last year or 2 years ago, Eli had to try out for his summer baseball team in July the year before. He was 11, 12. I thought I misread the email. I thought it was like, hey, does he want to play fall league? He's going to have to try. No. This was for the following summer. Why are they trying out in July? Because we've got to get into your checkbook starting in August. And if we can get into your checkbook in August and September and October and November and December and January, come February, March, it's baseball season.
And then we're going to stay in your checkbook.
And this is every sport. Every single sport. Soccer, swimming, you name it. You name what event you want to do, 365. An adult will take your money and make you promises, provide you opportunities at a cost.
Yeah, look at all the kids that play hockey. Not only do you, if you're really good at hockey, we're going to have to ship you off. You got to go play junior hockey someplace, somewhere else in the United States.
We talked with Brian Duex, right? He shipped his teenager off to Texas to play professional soccer for a while. I think it was professional. I shouldn't say that because I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure that's what he was doing.
Now, to be fair, his kid does have that skill set.
He's one of those rare ones that
he's the exception, not the rule.
Yeah, right. And there are those.
Yes.
Dude, my buddy Adam, his daughter is a special athlete. Special. And they she plays on these nationally touring teams. But that's not the level we're talking about. I'm talking about my kid, and I love him to death. He's not going to be a Division I athlete. Probably won't be a college athlete.
But he'll remember that sunset in Canada.
Right, he will. Yes, Tyler asked if it was Ty Duex. That's him. That's Brian's kid. They're an amazing family. Even the dog's incredible.
And I bet this happens more than we'll ever know. Ray put this, I think he was trying to be funny, but he goes, youth hockey almost bankrupted me. And I guarantee there are people listening to the show right now who goes, yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for all this. It ain't worth it. The return is what? Your happiness? And does it really make you happy? I'm not. Everybody has choices to make, and I'm not going to judge. I just made, you've made the choice to say, you know what, this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to fall for it. I did the same thing, but I wouldn't go bankrupt over the deal. There comes a time where you say, sorry, can't afford it. And it's okay that kids know that you can't afford something. Sorry, that's not in the budget. The cash flow doesn't add up. Not taking out a loan, not going to borrow against the house.
Got some. Oh, go ahead, buddy, because I got some fun ones for you.
Well, I was going to bring up the hockey last night. Edmonton beat Florida 5-4. This series has been absolutely incredible, as it's tied at 2 games each. 3 of the 4 games have gone to overtime, and he had history last night, as Edmonton was down 3 goals, and they become just the second team since 1919 to rally for a win. 3 goals are down in a Stanley Cup final. Just the second team. I think it was the Montreal Canadiens in 1919. Going into last night, teams were 156-1 when leading by 3 goals or more in a Stanley Cup final. It's now 156-2.
Wow. I'll be honest, that's way more 3-goal leads than I would have thought happened in the NHL Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, that's over 1 a year. It's almost 1.5 games per year. A team, well, not quite, about 1.25 or something like that, a little less, of 1 game a year more. A team has a 3-goal lead in the Stanley Cup Finals. 150 what in 2?
Well, 156-2. It was 156-1 going into last night. Now it's 2. But this is where analytics would tell you you're going to win the game. This is why we go to the NBA Finals, where the Pacers now have an 80% chance of winning the NBA Finals because they won Game 3 with the series tied at 1-1. Analytics aren't always right, but over time, you have a baseline to where you can go, okay, the odds are in your favor. The odds were in the Florida Panthers' favor last night, but Edmonton found a way to get back and tie that series at 2 games each. You got to, we talk about the mental aspect of sports. You got to wonder what that does to the Florida Panthers, right? You have a 3-goal lead, you're playing at home, and you watch that thing just disappear. This has 7 games written all over.
Oh, dude, it's been such a great series. Such a great series. I'm with you. That'll be fun, and this is when hockey is absolutely the most fun. Did you see? You were talking about the NBA Finals. I saw a story this morning about Jay-Z lost $1 million. Jay-Z had placed $1 million bet on Oklahoma City to win the NBA Finals in 5 games.
Oh,
slow down. He's worth like $5.2 billion.
I get that.
I didn't know he was worth that much, so I read the article. I'm like,
But
this is a parking ticket.
Show me somebody who has a lot of money that loses even $1 million, and they're not happy about it.
Lose $1 million. Lose $1 million. All right. The group Global Sports Report from Nielsen has a couple numbers for you, Travis. Okay. First one is the fan base for the WNBA has grown 31% in 2 years. I'll be honest, that number seems low to me.
I would agree with you. I would say that's low.
Yeah, I would have put that number, honestly. I'm not being a smartass here. I would have thought that the popularity of the WNBA had grown several 100%. I'm not kidding. Had doubled or tripled from what it was a few years ago.
I don't disagree with your argument there.
So 31% is their number for that. Here is what gets really interesting, Travis. Are you ready for the proverbial kick to the head that you get every couple of years with soccer? You ready?
Mm-hmm.
The Global Sports Report from Nielsen says interest in soccer in the United States will grow 62% after the World Cup.
No, it won't.
Travis, this is what they said. Nielsen says it's going to grow. They're saying that the future has arrived. The sport of the future, the thing that you've been denying your whole life.
The U.S. men's national team can't even win tournaments now.
Yeah, I know, but Nielsen says that that it'll double. It'll be twice the interest raise that the WNBA has seen in 2 years. WNBA in the last 2 years has gone up 31%. They're saying the World Cup will raise interest in American soccer 62%.
No. I look at soccer, and this is going to piss a lot of people off. Soccer in the World Cup is much like swimming in the Olympics or gymnastics in the Olympics. You care about it every 4 years. And the reason being is the United States is not the best in the world. When we have baseball, we have the best teams here. I understand there's a huge international influence in baseball and basketball, right? But those best players are coming to play in the United States. We get to watch the Eagles. We get to watch the Thunder and the Pacers. When we watch baseball, Ichiro playing for the Dodgers. You're watching American teams play with international players. Here, soccer is not the premier league of soccer. The best are in Europe. And fans will go, USA, USA, USA. World Cup's over. Okay, where's football at?
Again, the youth sports model is what has screwed American soccer forever. In every other country, every kid has a chance at playing soccer, and the best athletes go to soccer. We've got multiple sports, and we price kids out of youth sports. A poor kid can't travel on a youth soccer team. So we're pricing out the best kids again when they're 9, 10, 11, way before they actually develop. They don't have the skill set to drag them along. They don't have the money to pay the bills to go along. They don't get to play on the team. So now go find another sport. Go pick up basketball. Go do something else because soccer obviously ain't for you. Every other country in the world, it's the most accessible sport where you need a ball and your buddies. That's it. You create a goal. You do something. You go out, you run, and you kick the ball, and you get better at it. In America, we've made soccer an exclusive country club-esque, tennis-esque type of sport. That's happened in the last 20 years, 50 years.
I mean, will I pay attention to the World Cup? Maybe, because it's going to be played at Arrowhead Stadium. But am I going to go watch a Sporting KC game after that? Probably not.
Let me give you the numbers here from Nielsen here, okay? Because there is interesting, and they kind of fudge the numbers in the headline a little bit, all right? So it says viewership for soccer and women's sports is on the rise, according to the new global sports report from Nielsen. Specifically, U.S. interest in soccer is expected to grow 62% among soccer fans owing to the FIFA World Cup, which will be hosted across North America. As for non-soccer fans, their interest is expected to increase 11%.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. So I'm just trying to figure out, if you're a soccer fan already, how can your fandom grow even more? Explain that to me.
During the World Cup. Globally, soccer, known as football everywhere in the world, has long been the biggest sport. Nielsen found that 51% of people say they are fans of soccer worldwide. What do you think the second most popular sport is? I'm going to do second and third. Worldwide, 51% of people say they are soccer fans. 42% in second place say
cricket.
Basketball.
Okay.
Number 3 will really surprise you. 39% of people say they are fans of swimming. Yet, despite its global dominance, soccer has not been embraced in the United States. Only 27% of the U.S. population currently considers themselves soccer fans. Swimming?
Swimming. Wow. I mean, it's big during the Olympics. I follow, when Michael Phelps or Katie Ledecky's in the pool, you're interested just because of the individual stories. The sport itself.
39% of people worldwide say they are fans of swimming. I like swimming. Anyway. So there's some numbers for you from Nielsen.
I love numbers. I love numbers. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a statistician, but I do like data like that. Very, very interesting. Good stuff. Though I like how they put the caveat on it.
Yeah.
Soccer fandom grows 62% amongst soccer fans. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it's a tough one to figure out. All right, when we come back, Scott Wunn's going to join us. We got a huge event coming up in Central Iowa. The National Speech and Debate Tournament starts on Monday and goes all next week. We got a ton of people coming to town, and we're going to call it is a sport. I'm calling it verbal jousting. That's what it is. It's verbal jousting, and we'll talk about this big event when we come back on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Don't you hate when you're on a road trip and you want to stop somewhere to get something to eat, but you need to take a look at the menu first? Here at Willis Nissan, we decided to implement some menus to make servicing your car easier and more efficient. Our menu offers good, better, and best packages based off of your mileage of your vehicle. And we're offering 10% off the entire menu for the month of June if you mention this ad. Feel free to make an appointment at willisnissan.com or walk on in and make sure that your car is ready for the road trips that you're going on this summer.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, You'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager at Mini of Des Moines. School is out and summer is here. Before you hit the road for your motoring adventures, visit us for your oil changes, get your AC checked out, or make sure your tires are roadworthy. Give us a call to schedule or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
All right, we've been teasing it, talking about it, verbal jousting. Nobody's a better verbal jouster than Ross. He was
learned it all in high school, dude. It was debate and forensics and doing the speech and all that fun stuff, man. I loved it. Model UN and mock trial, but debate was the varsity. This was the big time. And it taught me so many things, dude, that I use today, but primarily conversation, how to understand people's arguments, how to understand where people are coming from, how to be able to argue for both sides of an issue. You have your opinions.
Articulate.
Good way to put it. Yeah, Travis, it taught me, I really do argue, like it taught me how to think and talk to people.
So next week in Des Moines in Central Iowa is the National Speech and Debate Tournament. And joining us now on the Rush Radio Show is Scott Wunn, who's the Executive Director, National Tournament Director. Scott, thanks for taking the time. Appreciate it.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. How are you?
Doing wonderful, Scott.
We're labeling this a sport. We're calling it verbal jousting. This is we were talking about competition, how football players are competitive. Basketball, they want to win. We were joking that if we were to go down there and watch, you'd probably see some of the most competitive kids out there, wouldn't we?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt you would see. This is cutthroat stuff. I mean, you're talking about the 7,000 students that have all qualified from 45 states. There's 8 foreign nations that are represented at the national tournament, and they're all coming, and they have many of them have one goal in mind, and that is to be the top speaker, top debater at the end. And like Ross says, he knows. Ross is actually an alum of the Speech and Debate Association. Yeah. I'm also a numbers guy, and I know that it was mid-90s, right? Ross at East High School, is that right?
Yeah.
And Ross had some merit points in the Speech and Debate Association. And
look at this guy.
Oh yeah, we know our data around here. So I don't come unprepared. But yeah, we're gonna have the best and brightest here. And the thing I'd add to Ross's opening. Oh, I also wanted to mention I love swimming, but I'm much more a fan of floating after the national tournament. But listen. The thing I'd add, Ross, is listening. Like the number one thing this activity is teaching these students is how to listen to each other. Yeah. You were so right about needing to debate both sides, understand both sides, research both sides, critically think about both sides. But these students are learning how to listen to one another, and that then competitively sets them up to dominate in life. So yeah, we're excited. We're excited to bring it here to Des Moines.
All right, let's talk about the topic, and then we can talk about what debate actually is. So it starts off with a topic. Every school is given the same topic for the course of a season or a year. Is that correct? Still the case?
So there's one event where that happens, policy debate, and so that's happening in policy debate this year, and those students are debating the protections of intellectual property rights. And they've been doing that all year long. And these teams qualify in the spring to get to the national tournament. But there are 4 other debate events that are happening. I mean, congressional debate, which is bills and resolutions, just like you would think. It's exactly like the state legislature or the U.S. Congress would battle out various elements of bills and resolutions.
That would seem to me.
Down at the state.
to be like the Model UN thing that I did. Is that very similar?
Very, very similar.
Okay.
They get a piece of legislation. They can argue on either side of it, and they cover all kinds of topics. I mean, they really don't shy away from anything. And so that'll happen. The finals of that'll happen at the state capitol this year in the House chamber. So that's really awesome.
Cool.
The public forum debaters are going to debate whether or not the benefits of executive orders outweigh the harms. You want to talk about a pertinent and relevant topic that they're gonna debate, and then there's another form of debate where they're debating whether or not violent revolution is a just response to political oppression. So these kids are tackling some big issues, and then we have the speech events going on where students get to choose the persuasive topic that they're going to give to the audience, and at the end down at the Iowa Event Center and the MC Expo Center, there'll be about 4,000 people in the audience that they'll get to use their voice and make those arguments.
Okay, how do you judge these? I mean, is it like figure skating where it's subjective? I mean, it's just, okay, I feel your opinion's better. Is it a scoring point? I mean, how do you judge? These?
Travis, that's a great question. So, being really honest, the one thing is we're humans. So there's always going to be subjectivity. And if you think about the level of direction you give any referee or any judge, there's subjectivity. You can describe what a foul is, you can do all that, but at the moment at which that action happens, that referee is going to make a decision. Did that meet the criteria of a foul? Did that meet the criteria of flagrant or not flagrant, or all of that? Did the swimmer leave early off the blocks? All those things. Same thing in debate and speech. There are criteria that our organization trains judges on to look for, things that you should look to make sure that debaters are warranting the arguments and justifying and actually clashing on the issues. And then the judges are weighing that out. By the end of the game, the bottom line is sort of like any juror that's at the back of that's in a jury box. That judge is in the back of the room. They have to weigh all those things that we've asked them to consider. And they say, listen, we think this particular side of the debate or argument won out the day and proved their clash points more and kind of established that resolution to be more true than the other side did. And Ross alluded to it earlier. The beauty of high school and middle school academic debate is you can't win the national title without debating both sides. You round to round, you switch. So you can't walk into Iowa or fly into Iowa or drive into Iowa and say, hey, I'm just going to be for the benefits of executive orders. You got to be able to argue both to win the title.
And that makes you more well-rounded. And now I'm curious, because this is competitive. Do you deal with the same thing that at like youth sports games where parents get pissed off and they start screaming at judges? Hey, but what's some crazy stuff you've seen from parents or even competitors?
Look at him. He's like,
well, listen, we knock on wood. I can't believe you asked me this question like 2 days before, 4 days before thousands of middle school moms are about to converge on Des Moines. But listen, it's competitive, which means that people have their opinions about who should win and lose. Knock on wood, we have not had any barroom brawls or anything fun like that. Heck, that might be really great for the ratings of speech and debate. People might actually know what it is, but people, it's competitive. So people question, we have a procedure for protests and things like that when people think things didn't go their way or the rules weren't followed. And we have a process just like any other sports activity to kind of, it's our version of the, throw the red hanky and get the review, right?
All right, so let's go back and talk about what policy debate is. Yep. When I was a kid, there was policy and there was Lincoln Douglas.
Yes.
And we kind of, the way that we would describe the two was in Olympic boxing, you get points for punches. Doesn't matter how hard the punch is, you get a point per punch. In real boxing, and once you get out in the real world, those big punches matter, right? And that was kind of how we described the difference between policy and Lincoln Douglas, where policy, it was about trying to get as many of your points out as you possibly could, hoping that you could speak faster than your opponent and get more points on the tally sheet than your opponent could counter. Is that it seems to me with what I've been able to see over the last couple of years, Scott, that's kind of shifted back to a more rational point style debate rather than Olympic style rapid punching.
So the way I would describe that so that people can kind of draw through your analogy is that because policy debate is an hour and a half long debate, so there's a lot of argumentation, a lot of different positions the debaters can take at the beginning of the debate to kind of lay out where's the highest level of clash going to be. There's still a massive amount of data that's thrown out about, and remember, this is the policy is the one they debate all year long. So they've got just tons of stuff that they're going to throw out there. And the team on the other side is going to dump a bunch of stuff also to consider in the debate. What's different probably from back in the 90s is that now they are at the end still trying to establish what that knockout punch was. Okay. What is the punch that actually put that other team on the floor? And it's really no different in Lincoln Douglas debate. Lincoln Douglas debate is shorter. It's a one-on-one debate. It's only 35 minutes long. The real difference is the topic areas. Policy debate is really focuses on the intricacies of like what steps will the U.S. government or the entity that's taking the action, what are they going to do to make that change? What kind of proposed actions? And then the other team's really looking at, well, what are the ramifications of those actions? Lincoln Douglas debate is very often moral or value driven. So the Lincoln Douglas debaters are talking about this summer violent revolution and whether or not it's just as a response to political oppression. So they'll get a lot deeper into the philosophy of, is that a just way to actually respond to something? And there'll be a lot of practical arguments in Lincoln Douglas debate as well. And then now we have public forum debate, which is like a strip from the headlines, month-to-month style of debate that has been going on for about 20 years now. So for us, it's young because this is our 100th year anniversary. Wow. And now I heard a rumor. Is this the 100th episode?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hate to break it to you, boys, but we got one up on you. We're at 100 years. So, but that congratulations. 100 episodes is incredible. Yeah, so, this year we're celebrating our 100th anniversary. So that means that debate has evolved so much over the years. And our goal is really, you got to keep pace with the minds of these students. They're the ones that are absolutely driving and testing the bounds of the activity, right?
So I got two things to say here. Is one,
yep.
You should have Ross be a judge in this tournament because I think he'd be phenomenal.
100%, Ross.
I'd love to, Scott. I've got to go through the training because it's been 20 years, man. So yeah. I'd want to do it right if I was going to do it. So
let's lock it in. You contact me after this. I mean, if you're free, let's get you down there and let's do that. That'd be
because
incredible.
it's the 15th through the 20th. Do you need volunteers still?
100% we need volunteers. We're going to be at, so this is the other thing that we should talk about since we have so many Iowans listening. We are 12,000 people are going to converge on the city starting on really today. Saturday is the big load, and we have registration down at the Iowa Event Center, and there'll be thousands of people come through there. There's 7,000 students, and we take up over 700 classrooms in the Des Moines Metro on Monday morning. So back in the 90s, the tournament was about a third the size. And now we'll be at Waukee, we'll be at Valley, Roosevelt. East High School is hosting World Schools Debate, your alma mater, and out at Johnston. So we are so appreciative of these school districts opening up and making this like a true metro event. But the finals will be down at the event center on the 19th for many of the interp events, like the acting events, and then the 20th all day is debate. And would love to have you down there on the 20th, and love to have you as a judge. That's a great suggestion, Travis, and my team can get you set up for that.
Yeah, the 20th, I think Eli has a doubleheader that day, but I'm gonna be in touch with you, Scott, and figure out what I can do to help out, man, because I'd love it.
So my other thing is this: when you watch debates, and I'm going to use a couple examples here, it's usually not policy or because policy drains up. It's usually the entertainment factor. I'll use Reagan Mondale as an example. The age line that won the debate for Reagan. It really did. And then there's a scene out of The West Wing. I don't know if you've watched The West Wing, where they talk about what I think it's the 90 seconds or the 90 word thing, and he was debating in there, and he was talking to the Florida governor, and he goes, hey, Florida took this much money, blah, blah, blah. He goes, because he was against government spending, he goes, can we have it back? And that won the debate for him. So how do you judge the entertainment factor, and is that a part of it, or is it really based on policy?
No, that's a great question. So obviously, round to round, everything's a little different. They get a feel for the judge. They get a feel for the judge's kind of take on all those, Socratic aspects, right, of logos, pathos, ethos, like all that stuff, right? But there is no doubt that comes into play, and people can watch. So the other thing I want everybody to know is they can watch on our live stream. If they go to speechanddebate.org, you can watch the final round live stream at the end of the week, and they can watch these debates, and you'll find in every one of these rounds, Travis, there is that moment. These debaters are now, the difference is that I think in presidential debates and candidate debates now, they've kind of already thought what they think their moment's going to be, and 99% of the time it doesn't fit, right? Like it's like, they knew they needed to get that. It always fits at the national finals for speech and debate, because these are lines that are coming organically from the student. There's 3,000 people watching in the room, and there's always that moment that just brings the house down. And they may not even end up winning the debate necessarily, but those are kind of those separation things, and they play a big role sometimes. It just kind of depends. That's a great question.
Nationalspeechanddebate.org was the website that you said there, Scott, is that right?
Speechanddebate.org. Just
speech and debate.
All one word. Yep, speechanddebate.org.
Right.
And that's where you can find out everything about the tournament, the schedule down at the Iowa Event Center. You can find out you can hook to the live stream starting on Thursday.
Do we even have debates anymore at a national level? I mean, you watch these presidential debates and you're like, these are, the moderators have no control over it. It's all prepared statements because they've memorized the whole thing. When you watch a debate today, where you're like, God, would you like time with these candidates? Go, let me teach you how to debate.
I think there isn't a coach in the country that's doing this, and we have thousands of the greatest educators in the world doing this activity. I don't think there's a coach, including myself, that wouldn't like time with these candidates to really. What we'd really like is time with both candidates at the same time to talk about how
a debate's supposed to sound.
What a debate would, how you would actually debate to result in some type of conclusion or resolution. But it's definitely different than what they're calling debate, but I will always land on the side of I think what these students are doing is giving them the skills that are going to be. I mean, think about it. We're entering a world where AI is going to have this impact that we don't really know what it is, right? How are you going to decipher really? When all of that's happening, how are you going to decipher what somebody really knows and what they don't know? We're going to have to come back to a world where communication is the dominant litmus test for what people know, what they stand for, and all that. There's just no doubt about
Agreed.
it. So where does that all start? That all starts at the middle school and high school level. And it starts with organizations like the Speech and Debate Association and an activity like speech, debate, Model UN, all those.
Yeah. Travis, remember earlier in the week we talked about who's on first, the Abbott and Costello routine, that it took them thousands of performances to get the timing down and master it and nail it and get that to where it is. That when Scott's talking about those kind of like gotcha moments that are spur of the moment. Now, again, when you're looking at a presidential debate, it's 1 or 2 or 3 debates. They get to script their moments, right? And then they've got to try to shoehorn it in to make it to get their punches. When you watch these kids at the national debate, dude, it's much more Abbott and Costello. They've done this 1,000 times. They've been through this. They've heard every response. Watching these kids at some point, it becomes like listening to jazz music, dude. They will play off of each other. It is fascinating stuff. I love the way that Scott put that with like in front of 4,000 people, you're going to see these kids be their brightest. They're super competitive. Those adrenalines are rushing. One of the guys said, Rock was salivating about this.
I challenge any parent. I'm a parent of a high school golfer. I was when I taught at Ankeny in the 90s. So I was the coach at Ankeny, Ross, when you were a student at East. I was at Ankeny 95 through 2000. I was the debate and speech coach there, but I was also high school baseball coach with Mel Merkin back in the 90s.
Wow.
And I would challenge any sports parent to, no matter how deep you are in those double headers and all that stuff, take an hour out and go to that website and you watch those students do that and you tell yourself that your child shouldn't also be learning that activity. And that's the beauty of it. They can do both. Everybody thinks they got to be no, these are complements to one another. And athletes also need to have these skills.
Yeah. All right. Before we let you go, because we got to wrap up. But you've done this a number of years. You've seen thousands of kids come and participate in this. Who went on to be famous or do something really big?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God! So I just did an Instagram with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. You know, we have 4 sitting Supreme Court justices right now that are NSTA members, right? So we just did that. This week, Josh Gad, who's the voice of Olaf, is going to be at the national tournament, right? Like Josh won 3 national titles for us back in the 90s. And Josh is going to join us. So, we've got Oprah Winfrey was an NSTA alum. So, yeah, we've got all kinds of them. The list goes on and on.
Wow. But that's good to know because people may not know that. And now the fact that you have, what you said, 3 or 4 sitting Supreme Court justices were part of this?
Yeah, 4, yeah.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
Scott, you'll love this real quick in the chat. One of the guys said, so do these kids get hyped up listening to like Metallica in the locker room beforehand? And Kirk, one of our other listeners who obviously has been around debate, says, no, dude, they actually mill around the hallways talking out loud, talking to the walls. Kirk knows debate.
100%. Kirk knows debate. It's they talk right to the walls. The wall is their greatest friends. We have T-shirts that say "I talk to walls." That's what they do. So, and guys, I can't thank you enough for putting me on and letting us talk about this incredible activity, this event. And the last thing, I just want to reiterate: none of this happens without the incredible support from Catch Des Moines and the school districts, Milwaukee schools, the West Des Moines schools, Johnston, Des Moines Public Schools. It just doesn't happen without that incredible collaboration. And that's how the sports world works too. They all, everybody comes together.
Scott, if we have people that, like me, want to help out and volunteer, I'm going to be getting in touch with you here in just an hour or so. How can people reach out to you if they want to volunteer?
They should email info@speechanddebate.org and say, I am interested in helping out. And we will have someone reach directly back out to them. And we will we'll connect them and make sure that they have a way that they can help out. We would
Perfect.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you,
Excellent.
sir.
Scott, thank you,
You
so
got
much
it.
for your time. We appreciate it. Let's do this again. So maybe we just have we'll have a debate sometime on the show.
I
You
love
can
it.
Be the moderator.
Let's do it. I love it. Happy to do that.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Oh, Rosh, you got to find time at least one day next
I
week.
got to get over there at some point.
Yes.
I'm almost certain Eli has a doubleheader on the 20th. I need to check the schedule here.
Well, I mean, you're pulling them out to go to Canada. You can say I'm going to miss one of your games to judge speech and debate. Just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I don't think I could. Let me see. 6:20. Yeah. Yep. Doubleheader 10:30.
But you could do a
It's all
different
right.
day. You could do a different day.
Yep. And at least you'll go down there and hang out. So thanks for setting that up, Travis. That was fun. I loved that.
And that came from Skinner, one of our listeners, who said, "Hey, I heard Greg Edwards talking about this. I know Scott. You need to have him on." And that was awesome.
I
And we
can't
found out that
believe they have a
Ross
record of my merit points from 1994.
That is awesome. See? Ross
Dude,
isn't lying to us.
my debate partner, Mick Wright, is now like, I don't want to screw it up. I think he's on the city council down in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I'm a way underachiever when it comes to the people I ran around with.
That's not true. Do not sell yourself short.
I'm not selling myself short. I'm just telling you, like, it's always, I went to Central Academy and I went with like Mike Draper and his brother Chris. I think Chris went to Stanford. Mike went to Penn. So it's always funny when you're in a group and people are like, "Oh, you guys know each other. How do you guys know each other?" Like, "Oh, we went to school together at Central Academy." They're like, "Ross, didn't you drop out of DMAC?" Yeah.
Yeah, but now you're running your 100th episode of your online radio show.
There you go. Look at that.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Polishing this turd right up, aren't I?
Take a bow. Real quickly before we get out of here, College World Series gets underway today in Omaha. I know a lot of people are driving over from Des Moines this weekend. You got 2 games today, Arizona and Coastal Carolina, and Oregon State and Murray State is tonight. So a couple good games, and I know people will be driving over to watch those games. Ross, fun week. I think, how would you rate the Starlink?
100.
I would agree. We had the first couple days. We had a couple dropouts, but that's just internet. I mean, everybody's internet drops out.
Loving it.
Yes. So this will allow us to go international when there are no vacation days with the Rush Radio. No vacation days. We do it right. Thank you so much for listening all week long. A little change on therushladio.com. Starting tonight at midnight, we're just going to run all 5 shows back to back. So we've created a different playlist. So during the weekend, if you go to therushladio.com, that'd be all 5 shows will be running back to back to back to back. We'll see you on Monday on therushladio.com or on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines. We got some great things going on this month. Right now, you can lease a brand new Countryman for as low as $369 a month for 39 months. Also, we're running a 3.99% at up to 60 on all models, excluding the convertible. Also, you can lease a new 2-door hardtop as low as $299 a month lease. If you have any other questions, come visit your favorite motoring advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer's here, and that means extra miles on your car. With road trips, summer activities, and more, stop in now and get a vehicle inspection to make sure your Land Rover is in the best shape possible. We'll even throw in $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or head online at LandRoverDesMoines.com to schedule your appointment today.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show.